Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm a Batman.
And today, we're actually doing a review, which when I look back and checked out our episodes, we haven't done one in quite a while. And we're going to be looking at EAT the Reich from Grant Howitt of Rowan, Rook, and Dekard, a tabletop role-playing game in which you, a vampire commando, are coffin-dropped into occupied Paris and must cut a bloody swath through Nazi forces en route to your ultimate goal, drinking all of Adolf Hitler's blood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta kill all those Parisian traitors too, you know?
Yeah. I usually have to like dial in like that copy right there for people. Nope, stole that right from the website because they actually put out good copy for their shit.
That's a great one, really. Wow, yeah. Good for them.
You know what's funny? I feel like me and Clayton, you weren't there for the Clayton Osstein episode. Great episode. It was like 2.5 hours long. We really ripped into the Ennies, which I was really happy about. But we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and I think I'm gonna have him back on and basically do like a guide to being a creator. He really went in talking about how to email a creator, like email them like they're a real person, don't just copy paste shit. But what I want is shit like this, where I'm like, please, when you do the copy on your itch page, make it just copy pastable for reviewers, so they don't have to like do a bunch of work just to communicate your vision. You know, like give me a line, give me one line on what the fuck your game is. You know, my game, like it is a tabletop role playing game where you do this. You know, But yeah, we're doing EAT the Reich today, and gosh, you haven't been on. You didn't do an episode last week? I've done like 3 since then. Got another. Yeah. We talked about not doing interviews anymore, and somehow we're doing like 8 in like a 2-week period, or at least
it seems like you're doing 8.
I'm doing a lot of them. Well, your schedule sucks right now, so you know I'm doing a couple.
I'm going back to school, y'all. I'm a college girl, so.
Woo-hoo. We love an educated girly.
We do.
Yeah. But yeah, what else? What else are you been up to, buddy?
Nothing. It's kind of end of the summer season here, so and I've been picking up some extra shifts at work to help pay for some stuff and save up for, because we're gonna have to move after this lease is up in October. So not out of town. I mean, just like to a different place. So I haven't really been on the river. And then the past, you know what? As I say, the past 4 weeks, my tabletop group is canceled. We did actually play last week, and we started the Drain Mothership, playing the Drain, and it's going well so far. I don't know. I feel like every time I run a funnel adventure, I feel fine about it, and I can't seem to get a table. I've run several at this point that really loves like the kind of meta behind the funnel adventure, which is who can have the most glorious death, you know? Like every time they die, they're like, oh, I'm like, that's what this is. What the fuck are you doing? You have 20 guys in your party. Like, send somebody skyrocketing aside. Actually, that's not true. Sean is really funny about it. My roommate, Sean, he laughs about it. He's actually really, if I could have 5 Seans at the table, it'd be hilarious. So
are you doing cool stuff when they die to really like stamping a sheet, tearing it up, setting it on fire? Like,
no, I wasn't for this one because the Drain leads right into Meat Grinder, which is an adventure in hell, and if they die in that adventure, like new people are like born into hell, like going in hell, so I was gonna let them bring back their other funnel adventure characters to use.
That's why you secretly make copies beforehand and tear them up, and then when they come back, hand them it, but you printed it out on a red piece of paper.
Ooh, that would have been way better. Next time I run this, which I probably will run this again for another group at some point, I will absolutely do it. It's a good idea. So,
well, hey, maybe we'll talk about it sometime on the show.
Yeah, totally, we should.
Yeah, and cool. Maybe half the episode won't be me just blacking out and ranting for 30 minutes, you know?
Why would it be? When has that ever happened?
Hey, I will say, our audience retention on that episode is one of the best we've ever had.
Which episode are we talking about right now?
The barrow, the only adventure we've ever done,
yeah,
where we did
the
30
barrow,
minutes of adventure and 30
yeah.
minutes of me just like ranting. Some people seem to like it,
I
or at
like the
least
Barrow of the Elf King. I think that's a really cool.
I meant the ranting, but also yes, Barrow of the Elf
Yeah.
King is a fire adventure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What about
that's
you?
it.
What's up with you? What's new? How's life?
So I was holding off kind of on not holding off on mini painting. I have a bunch of projects in my mind to do miniature stuff for, and then I ordered a bunch of 3D print shit for it. Some of it custom and stuff. Man,
cool.
I should show you this dude on Etsy can like make anything.
Oh yeah, you should send me it because I have some projects too.
The shoulder pads are fire. Basically, I got him to basically make every Night Lord's shoulder pad from like the Black Book's heraldry. So I have like 10 different Night Lord shoulder pads, which are fire. And then Setoval is this incredible creator that a lot of people in like the grimdark part of Warhammer are making like Saturnines and True Scale Marines from. I sent him the shoulder pad STL for that, and he put like a big 3D like winged skull popping off on that. So because my idea is to do a full true scale kill team. So he made these dope ass Night Lord shoulder pads for the true scale set of all Marines. So they're incredible. But so a lot of those come in, but I've been talking to Andy, Evil Andy, nicest guy ever.
Best guy. I miss Evil Andy. I miss when we played adventures with him.
Yeah, we gotta have him back on the show sooner than later. But Horse Heresy 3.0 came out, finally chatted with him, pulled out the books, and been putting my army together, at least the army list together, so I can actually start building the army. There's a lot of fucking people, so I've been collecting stuff. I spent a couple of different days.
In total will your army be at the end? You know,
at the end, it's somewhere between 80 and 90 units.
Okay, it's
a lot.
That's a few. So,
but also so I was kit bashing this Praetor for a while that had these like giant lightning claws and stuff. It's in the Discord. I post some pictures up. As soon as when I started making my army list, I realized it works. I was just making it to make a cool Night Lord guy, right? But it actually works. One of the high command guys is just Praetor. And you get twin lightning claws as an option for it. So the guy that I made that I just thought was like a dope giant fucking Night Lord's Praetor is the high commander of my army. So he's going to be an actual named character. Yeah, he's basically like second in command when Sevatar is not around. Sevatar, best character in all of Warhammer.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah. So I've been reading the Horse Heresy book. I've been reading the Liber Hereticus. I've been using New Recruit to build the army. I've been like putting character minis aside. Me like, okay, this is me I'm using for my herald. This is me I'm going to use for my console.
What's New Recruit?
Newrecruit.eu is like an army builder website. So it's got all the options in, and you just build. Yeah, because if I had to write this shit out, fuck that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, but that's really cool that there's like an e-tool for it, essentially.
Yeah, and
it makes sense.
It works pretty well. It's not perfect. Sometimes there's options there that you don't really get, and sometimes so you have to like be like, okay, this says I have a prime slot, but I really don't have a prime slot. Yeah. But basically, that's what I've been doing. So I think I need to pick out like one more mini. I have a herald as one of my 3 command. You get a high command and you get 3 command, then you get 4 base troops and 4 transports. It's like what you start with. And I have all the minis for those, or I will, because Andy's going to print me out tanks, except for I need to find the mini that I'm going to kit bash to make my herald. And I might just try to find the original Forge World Trader console herald. But it's like $130 on eBay. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in putting together some stuff for Flames of Orion.
Yeah.
Because in that game, you get like 10 minis per person. And I'm like, that sounds fucking insane. I would definitely want to do that. So
you know that I have all the Flames of Orion STLs in the Dropbox, and you can build them. Yeah, Andy,
well, I've been lightly planning a board for it based on. Did you ever play Halo?
Enough to know what Halo is, but not.
Yeah, well, there's a map. There's like a style of map that's on like mini Halos, where it's like when you get to like this military base or whatever you're getting to, it's like it's hard to describe. It's like a flat top concrete with like things that go.
Cut out there, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. fuck this mic. Has like some bridges and some like raised areas, and I think it's all like kind of hard angles. So I think it'd be easy to do, but I need to get a heated wire cutter for craft foam because I was cutting it with a knife, and I was like, this is fucking miserable. And if the line curves at all, you just can't do it. So,
yeah, I'm excited for you to start building board because I really want to start building boards too. So once you, because I know you paint, but like I've been mini painting, so I can give you some tips as a newer painter to. Yeah. And then when you're doing boards, when I start building my board, you can give me tips back on that. You should really start listening to the Hivescom podcast because they talk. I really should.
I have time coming up this week. I will actually listen to them. Yeah.
Especially Steve, the guy who did the Flames of Orion. Talks at length about like how he makes the boards and like the tips and tricks and like gives websites and stuff to
because the guy who is in my like tabletop group that makes terrain, like he loves doing it. He loves Hivescom. He's like,
they're great.
Listen to them all the time. So
it's a much better podcast than ours. If you're listening to us, you should just go listen to them. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. I've been painting. The other night I was called off work 2 nights ago, and I sat down and reprimed 5 test minis and did 5 new Night Lords color schemes, trying to find the scheme that I want. And I think I got it, but I'm gonna paint up one more with some Reaper paints instead of Pro Acryl and see if I like that color scheme. But Night Lords blue, it's hard. Everyone paints Night Lords differently versus Ultramarines, which are pretty much just blue.
Just blue. I made this joke earlier.
Yeah. And if you look at the black books, like the really early like Night Lords were almost like a purpley blue, like very lightish color.
I think I've actually seen that version somewhere, but I kind of like the purpley blue.
The farther you get in, the more like kind of royal. They basically are like Ultramarines blue by now in 40k.
Yeah, the purpley blue is good. I like that.
It's nice. So. It's nice. So I'm gonna lean in a little bit of that. Reaper Mini has this midnight sky blue, night sky blue that definitely has some purple in it. And I already do a purple base underneath, like the blue that I put down, so that the shadows underneath have like a warm purple instead of like just like black or something. And it looks really nice. So I'm going to do like a purple, and then I'm going to try, it might be too light with the night sky blue. I might do a dark blue and the night sky over that with some highlights. But we'll see. I might try to lean into like a lightish purple and see what happens. But anyway, just as soon as I get my color scheme down, I'm going to start, whenever I have free time, just start putting fucking minis together. If I didn't care about mold lines, it'd be so easy, but I do. So it takes you 5 times longer to put it together when you have to actually scrape off the mold lines to make it look nice. So
next we're gonna get into Gunpla and start making Gundams.
Woo, Gundams. All right, well, I think that's our dick around time for the beginning, so why don't we hop into Eat the Reich?
Over, but
but it's cool. We haven't actually sat down for a video in a while, so I'm actually going to so Eat the Reich. So it's a game. I actually backed it at the really like too high dumb level where I got the fucking ammo crate of shit. There weren't a ton of these. For those in podcast land that can't see this, sucks for you. It's just a legit real ammo crate, and then it's got like Fang logo, top secret, written all over it. It's got this mission kills fascists. It's legit salvaged ammo crate. And then there's just stuff from boom, that's the book. I'm also showing the book right now, so I can show off this.
Nice.
It's got stuff from the game in it. So right off the bat, there's like a little light here that I never took the thing out of. But there's stuff, and then I'm just gonna show the stuff on screen real quick, and then we'll flip through the book a tiny bit and get going. So there is this big map of the adventure space of basically Paris here, and then and then on the other side, it's got the mission objective, and then it's got basically French and German stuff that you can say. So that's pretty cool. Make sure nothing has my like real human name on here. Oh, there's a cool coaster. Man, that is very yellowish. The white balance on here is not great. Uh, I say that, then immediately go silent so that you all know that I just fucked around and Hunter walked away, so you can't really see. But so it's got this coaster, which is pretty dope, and then on the back is like a like map meeting area. So it's as if you were in the bar and someone like slid you a coaster, and it's got like a secret meeting area on the back, and it has like the password and shit on it, which is pretty fucking cool. It's got a stake, which is interesting because you play as vampires. But this is an emergency stake issued in case of catastrophic failure of moral fortitude or imminent capture. So basically, and then there's instructions on how to kill yourself with the stake. So this is basically the vampire cyanide pill, I guess, except there's garlic pills in the. Yeah. So there's a stake. There's a candle that's got some other. It is Our Lady of Perpetual Ruin. To candle from them, which is the people that give you the blood in your drop coffins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there. There's a dog tag for Flint, which is one of the characters in the thing. So it literally is like, if found, return to Fang HQ. So they literally went to like the fucking, like PetSmart and made the fucking Fang dog tags.
Funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a like actual, not army dog tag, but tag you put on your dog.
Like an actual dog.
Because Flint is the man bat creature.
Yeah. And you get a dog tag for him. But again, yeah, it's a pink bone shaped dog tag, not military. Like, yeah. There's this cool like necklace situation, which I think is again, like a lot of these are all pertaining to the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There is, what is this? Oh, this is a fancy cigarette holder. Because Irina, I think, is the smoker. Yeah. Man, if I still... there is the metal coin that comes with it. Which is cool.
Very cool.
There is... I took this out of the plastic before, but I don't want to do it now.
There's a lot of stuff in this box, man.
It's crazy. Oh, this is Vampire Trail Mix. This is the the soul jar that Cosgrove has. Obviously the character that you would play.
Yes, obviously the character I would play. Yes, you're correct.
So it's got the soul jar. This is Mother Millicent's Furious Soul.
Cool.
Yeah. If found, please lose, it says. And
very
stay
cool.
the fucking side. Stay the fucking side. It's got like a tag. It's pretty dope. Yeah, it says no exit at the top. So that's that. And then I also got, obviously that's the edition also gives you other bonuses, which is all this stuff. And this is basically a fat stack of character sheets. So you literally get a bajillion fucking character sheets. And then there is, for these, and then maps, a couple of different maps for Paris. And then also a bunch of other shit. So there's another coin. It's different than the one that's in this box. The one that came in this box is like exclusive to that box. So there's another like challenge coin situation. They were on alchemy, which was popular in the ttrpg scene for like a very small period of time. And then dope bookmark, a whole bag of pretty sick fucking patches.
Love that.
And then there are swag. And then there are little cool prints of each of the characters in like a very like what you would kind of see on the side of like a plane kind of way.
Cool.
Dance Macabre, Dark Glamour, Rig to Blow, Corpse Eater. It's like sexy. It's like sexy shots of all the characters. Apex Predator and Ravenous. Obviously, I would play Flint. I think no one would be surprised.
Dude, I would play Flint. Flint's a fucking great one. That's like one of my 2 favorites.
Well, Flint and Chuck, I think, are my favorites. But I thought you'd be a Cosgrove guy all the way. He's a fucking like warlock.
Yeah. No, Cosgrove is definitely up there, but Flint is like, I really like Flint's abilities, and also just
Flint.
Yeah, Flint. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think we would toss up for Flint, but if we took Flint out of the picture, I think you would be Cosgrove and I would play Chuck. It's Chuck, right? Chuck's the
Chuck's the gunslinging cowboy-esque one.
Yeah, that eats corpses.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously that's what I would pick. Oh yeah, someone just asked about the book creaking when it first opened. I'll show a little bit more of like the texture and stuff on it in just a second. Then we'll actually get into the fucking episode. But man, the production value on this shit is through the fucking roof. It's pretty insane. I mean, just the stuff that came with it. But I mean, well, in just a second, I'll give you the info on how much fucking money they made Kickstarter. But I mean, Rowan, Rook, and Dekard is a pretty big kind of name in. I mean, they're not really indie in the not D&D space.
Yeah.
Like anyone that's heard of Spire, Heart, any of those other ones that are really popular. They did the Die RPG, which Die is an incredibly popular comic with Kieran Gillen. Rowan, Rook, and Dekard also, at least Grant Howitt of Rowan, Rook, and Dekard has Honey Heist, which is, I mean, it's kind of like a thing. It's like a piece of folklore in the indie space, like to beat the bear on itch, which means that you had a game that got higher than Honey Heist, because Honey Heist is always at the top of the itch list. So if you beat the bear, it means that you actually had a game more popular than Honey Heist for a brief period of time. And then inevitably it goes below Honey Heist, because that's how it works. So let me get this shit out of the way, and then we'll get crack-a-lackin'. So yeah, so that was the tier that was too high, but I couldn't say no to. It's a vampire game, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Let me get the fuzz and stuff back to this ammo crate. I gotta stop buying stuff like this because I have nowhere to put it. I don't know where this is gonna go. It's literally sitting on the floor.
Well, it's an ammo box, so
yeah. So when you look at the cover too, this is like the UV treatment or whatever, so you can see all that, right? How like the texture, the splatter, like all of this right here is like insanely splattered all over it. Like it's crazy. And all of this is like super deep, heavy shine. You see how it like really pops off of there? See the shine hitting it? Yeah.
Really nice cover.
It's crazy. And
I mean,
then
the
edges,
the book itself is like, the art's crazy too. So
yeah, it's crazy. And then the edge is pink. That was, I think that was just the first run, because the versions you can get now everywhere have a green edge, which I think is going to be going forward. That's all it's going to be. So the pink edge was just the initial print run, and then it's got this window cut out in the front, which leads to this on the inside, which is also got like a lot of like treatment, like the spot treatment on it. And it's basically the inside of the drop coffin is what it's supposed to be as far as the cover goes. And we'll talk about the drop coffins here in just a minute. But yeah, book goes hard, book goes crazy. There's a flip out on the back too. There's these like kind of like fake IDs on the back, which this is not in the PDF. The PDF stops after like this page, but there's like a whole I think both of these pages in, so I think it's just this page that's not in the PDF anywhere. But that's an extra bonus page that's also got like a fuckload of like UV coating on it and shit.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's as a product, as like a physical product, my fucking god. I mean, we'll go over that. Yeah, we'll go over that here in just a little bit. Everything else though, we'll see. We'll see how we feel about it. And that's that. Let me get this shit out of here. Go away, camera. And you can go away too. So, EAT the Reich. Let's go into the info about EAT the Reich. So, EAT the Reich. This over-the-top, ultra-violent game is designed to be played from beginning to end in 1 to 3 sessions of carnage, blood magic, meaningful flashbacks, and hundreds upon hundreds of extremely dead fascists. It tells one story, it tells it loud, and it tells it brilliantly. Think Wolfenstein crossed with Danger 5, and you're not far off the mark. Again, I stole that directly from the website. You'd be surprised how often the copy that people write on the website is not good.
Yeah.
Especially if you want people to review it. The number of times that I have to write my own like sentence or two to describe what the game is because whatever they wrote on the itch page is not good is often. It's frequent. You should write better copy for your games. And especially if you want it promoted, write a line or two that people can just take so that they can use to promote your shit and talk about your shit. EAT the Reich launched on Kickstarter August 17th, 2023 and funded on September 14th, 2023 with 9,367 backers for £327,808, which is $443,000. I'm sorry, $443,151 and some change. EAT the Reich won the 2024 Gold Annie Award for Best Cover Art, kind of obviously, Best Interior Art, kind of obviously, and Best Adventure, and was nominated for Product of the Year, which, in my definition of product, wait until I drop the episode with Clayton Notestein, I think with all the bells and whistles, definitely deserve to be nominated there. It was also a 2025 Origins Award finalist in RPG Core category. EAT the Reich is available at rowanrookanddeckard.com, as well as other popular games from Rowan, Rook, and Dekard like Spire Heart and the Die RPG and Honey Heist, amongst others. You can also snag it at like IPR, Tabletop Bookshelf, all those places. And it's the same price pretty much across the board. And we'll get to that in the value section. But that is the info. This was almost a $450,000 Kickstarter.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So, I mean, at least they spent that money putting all of that like goop on the cover, you know? And I don't mean that derogatorily. I like the goop. I think the textures on
cool.
the cover
It's super cool. Yeah.
Insane.
It's really this one of the strongest points of this product.
Yeah. As a physical product, that bells and whistles through the fucking roof. You know what I mean? So looking at the cover again, I'll zoom to page level here. I mean, it's gorgeous. The art is from Will Kirkby, Kirkby. Bro, my fucking God. I think I've seen some of their like Space Marines that they do too, because obviously I'm fucking Warhammer build, right?
Right.
But Will Kirkby's art is insane. I mean, they basically made this game look like this game, and they did, and good choice, good call.
Yeah,
lots of pinks. Yeah, lots of pinks, which we love here on the show. You know, a lot of cyan or magentas, a lot of magenta and cyan too. There's a lot of good cyan throughout this whole thing.
Very CYMK.
Yeah. It looks good. I mean, I love it. Like visually, you know, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of complaints about this whatsoever. The logo is fire. The R and the H are like fangs. I mean, you know, again, a lot of
solid visual design choices made.
Yeah, this is kind of like it's like a casino in Vegas from the outside. You know?
Yeah.
This is like Geno's instead of Pat's for all you Philly folks. So quick flip through a couple of pages I want to talk about before we get to the rules breakdown. I mean, first of all, just the table of contents is great. We'll get into the usability issue, some things about the usability later. PDF remediation by Die Sugars. Was happy to see that. For those that don't know what PDF remediation is, it's basically making sure I don't think it's just for, but especially for screen readers for like accessibility. All of the screen reader reads it in the correct way, and like the alt text is all there and everything, so that if you're using a screen reader, you get all of the book correctly. And Die is a fantastic PDF remediator. Has done a lot of work. Obviously works with Space Penguin, but I think they've done stuff with, I think, Free League and some other stuff, but obviously RD too. They've, a lot of really good stuff. So Eat the Reich. The year is 1943. Europe is in flames. You are a unit of crack vampire commandos with a single objective: drink all of Adolf Hitler's blood and fatally destabilize the Nazi war machine. My brain broke for a second.
That was good. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, Grant Howitt and Will Kirkby. So yeah. And then we get a lot of stuff. So let's talk about the stuff after. You want to just do the rules breakdown and get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's do the rules breakdown first, and then we'll do rules and characters, and then we'll kind of talk about our feelings about the stuff.
Okay. So I'm actually going to scroll through
all, let me get to 30-something pages of not rules.
Yeah, let me get to page 30. Page 30. Oh, I'm still going, guys. I'm still scrolling. I passed it. Page 30 of, I think, 76.
70. Yeah, I think 76 as well. Maybe 75.
I would guess it's probably 76 just because it's divisible by 4. But
yeah, it's always divisible by 4. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, scrolling through some dope art. So what is the gist of this game? This is the rules breakdown here. The gist of the game is that it is a D6 dice pool game with clocks where you play exactly one scenario. You're a spec op group of vampires dropped into Paris in 1943, and you're trying to kill Adolf Hitler. That's the whole fucking game. It's not actual Paris. It's not historically accurate. We'll do that after. That's what I wanted to do, and then my brain broke. But it is a fake Paris where there's more Nazis and shit, and it's slightly different. Whatever. So that's the gist of the game. It's a D6 dice pool game that uses clocks, and mechanically, that's about what you get.
Yep. Yeah.
So mechanics wise, you have 7 stats listed here. They are brawl, con, not constitution. Con is in like con man, use charisma and shit. Fix, search, shoot, sneak, and terrify. Exactly what they sound like. That is what they are. You have 7 of them. Turn order. GM picks the turn order. Whatever. I get whatever works in the story. And then everyone has to go. You build your dice pools the way every other fucking game builds dice pools. There is nothing unique at all about this. If you had to guess, what would you use to build your dice pools? Yep, stats, equipment, and abilities. And that's what you use to build dice pools here, right? So you build your dice pools. You basically take a number of dice equal to the stat that you're using. So if you're going to use search, whatever stat you have in search, you grab that many dice. And then if you're going to use equipment or abilities, you add dice for that. And the dice that you use for that are listed with your equipment and with your abilities. And I think, Hunter, you're going to go over that a little bit more. You're going to pick a character sheet and kind of run through one real quick? Yeah, might as well look at that. And then there's options for bonus dice. There's a couple of different ways to get bonus dice. And you can get an extra dice if it's the last use of a piece of equipment. So if you have, your equipment has usage slots, basically. So if you use it 3 times and only has 3 uses, on your 3rd usage, you get a bonus die for using it, and that is written to encourage you to use up your equipment and loot new equipment, so you're not just holding on to your shit. I like that. I think that's really clever.
Yeah, I agree. I do enjoy that part of it.
Yeah. What I'm not a big fan of is how small the loot box is on the character sheet, and we'll look over that a little bit later. The other way, I even wrote here in the notes, even though the loot section in the character sheet is so small, that is one way you can get bonus dice. Another is, no, that's to go out with the bang section here, is the equipment thing. The GM builds a threat pool. So the way the game works is you build your dice pool, and then when it's your turn to go, the GM built a threat tool based on the attack rating of whatever the threat is. So say you're fighting a Nazi patrol, and that patrol's attack rating is 3. The GM gets 3 d6s, and then you get however many d6s you want. And then you get this graphic, because at no point in the game anywhere are the rules for this actually written out at all.
I was going to ask about that. I was like, did I just miss it? Or is this the only? Cool. Okay.
Which is so weird. And the first thing I thought was, well, fuck screen readers, right? But then I saw the PDF remediation from Die, and I was like, well, thank goodness, at least I know that they'll get this information somehow. But for those in podcast land, it is a graphic that shows how the dice mechanic works. But again, it's not written out anywhere. And for people that would like just work better reading it, I thought this was very weird. I don't think I've ever seen it where it's not written out, where it's just given to you in a graphic. Can you think of a time where?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure there may be one other instance of this. I feel like we've had a fairly similar conversation, but not that I can think of.
I find it pretty weird that it's just a graphic. So the way the graphic works is it shows player roll at the top and GM roll on the bottom. And the player roll, and each have 6 d6s rolled. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a line down the middle. And on both player and GM dice, the dice are a little bit different. They do look great. They're great looking dice. If I was going to draw dice, I would hope they would look like this. But on 1, 2, and 3 for both, it says discard. So none of that matters, because according to this graphic, anything 4 and up is a success, right? So for the GM, 4, 5, and 6 is a success plus 1 damage. So there's ways you can put successes into the game and damage and stuff. That's what they get. For players, 4 and 5s are success plus 1 damage, or plus 1 defense, or plus 1 blood. And 6 is a critical, and you get plus 2 of everything that I just said. Or you can activate a special. So obviously, so that tells you right off the bat that bad guys don't get crits, and crits are good for you, and that the system is a 4+ system, right? You have to roll 4 or higher on your pool of d6s, even though it doesn't say anywhere that that's a thing, which I think is incredibly interesting. And that's the core of the game right there, is build a dice pool using your stats, abilities, and equipment, and throw it against the GMs, because they're also going to be rolling a dice pool, and then you allocate. And how does the allocation work? So already did that. So allocate your successes to advancing an objective, eliminating a threat, defending yourself against attacks, feeding on Nazi blood, or activating a special. So then there's like 2 pages where they just copy paste the same thing over and over and over again, because it's the exact same mechanic for everything that you do, right? When you allocate success to advancing an objective, reduce the objective's rating by 1. When you allocate a success to eliminating a threat, reduce the threat's rating by 1. When you allocate 6 to feeding, gain 1 blood. When you allocate a crit, gain 2. Like it said, plus 1 blood, plus 2 blood. And then you get specials. So specials can only be activated on a crit. And then there's specials, blah, blah, blah. They do stuff. And then between all of it, it just keeps trying to reinforce role-playing a lot. It says, add details like ripping Nazis in half, laying down covering fire, add details like clearing a path towards something useful, lending support to an ally. So it's really, this is a dice pool story game. It's really leaning into that, and really wants you to RP a lot.
Yeah, it really wants you to RP a lot. I have thoughts. Yeah.
I wish it. Yeah, we both have thoughts on that. And then there's a section here on taking control with the details. The details here are just suggestions. You can put forward almost anything you want. The only thing that you can't narrate is the actions of other named characters. Again, there's a whole section of the book that we're going to talk about a little bit later, and we're going to skip that for right now. So you allocate your successes to all those things. If the GM, so the way that this works, right? Did I get to the clocks yet? Healing. I'll talk about some other stuff, and then we'll kind of like roll back to attacks and threats and stuff like that. So if the GM has attack dice slot, basically, see this one, this is eliminating a threat, or no, defending yourself against attacks. So if I roll 3 successes,
right,
and you roll 3 successes, but I put an success towards advancing an objective and a success towards eliminating a threat. That gives me one left to defend myself with. And you had 3 attacks. I could defend against 1, and then you have 2 attacks left against me when all of our dice are allocated and kind of, so then I would take 2 damage. So if I don't allocate enough dice to defend against your attack roll before I do, or instead choose to advance objectives or eliminate a threat or feed on blood and stuff like that, that's the damage I take. So you always at the very least want to roll higher than the GM's number of successes so you can defend against it and then choose whether you're going to defend against it or not. So that's kind of like the crux of like why the GM rolls like attack threat, the threat pool basically. Next, there's an example of play here, which is great. First of all, beautiful, but also like an example of play talking through the dice rolls and everything. It's a really good example of play. It's 2 pages long. They do a good job. I think it really explains the very kind of easy mechanics very well. And it's got Arena on it, who is cool. She's cool. Then you got blood. So vampires drink blood, obviously. You can use blood for things. You can heal an injury by spending 3 blood. We'll get into injuries and stuff in just a second. You can hold up to 10 bloods at a time, however you want that to look, whether it's vials or sacks or like, a one giant vat with like a thing. And mechanically hold your blood however you want.
Like one of those backpacks, the water bladder inside, and you have like a little straw.
Oh god, like a camelback.
Camelback, there we go.
You got a camelback of blood, yeah. And you can also share your blood with other people. That's totally cool. You can do all of that. When did I put injuries and stuff? I think I put it back in the other thing. So injuries and downed, is, what happens when, again, when you get attacks, right? So, when you don't neutralize all of them, right? If the GM still has attack dice remaining, when you have no dice remaining, you mark an injury on your character sheet. Each character has unique injuries and problems associated with them. When you mark an injury, roll a d6 and tick off the first box in the relevant category. I don't understand why they're called categories. I think when Hunter goes over the character sheet, we'll talk about that a little bit more. It doesn't really make sense to me. Basically, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 with 2 each. But it's not like a light injury, medium injury, heavy injury. It's weird. But basically, you don't have HP. You just tick off an injury. And that's how it works. And then you take the effect from that. But the first injury in each section is pretty much just narrative, and the second injury actually has mechanical shit that you have to deal with. You can get put down if the GM has 3 or more attack die remaining. When you have no dice remaining, you are downed. And downed means you're out but not dead, and you have now created an extra little mission because the only way to get undowned is for your people to save you. So you're like stuck under rubble or captured or some shit, and you've created a side quest now for everyone to get undowned. And then death is when you have marked all of your injuries, and you get to make a last stand. Where you do something dramatic and roll a d6. It reminds me of like your swan song in Orbital Blues.
Yeah, you just totally. I was thinking that when I read it too.
Yeah, you don't get to do anything you want, but you get 8 d6 to kind of like do one last cool thing before you go. But you can't use any abilities or anything that would heal you. Like you're dead. Like you're going out. Like there's nothing you can do to save yourself. That's it. All right. Objectives and threats. The way that they both work is they're just clocks. It's clocks. I mean, this is I don't know. I wouldn't call this a PBTA or like I don't know if I would even call it. I don't think it's a Forged in the Dark game, but it's like,
no,
obviously like built on like,
yeah,
a lot of the same stuff, but like clocks is a very popular PBTA thing. The dice pool thing is obviously a Forged in the Dark thing. It didn't start with Forged, I don't believe,
right.
but it's a popular
thing. The dice
thing.
pool, the flashbacks, the kind of way injuries work on this, they actually work not the same in Blades.
Yeah. But it's like a lighter, better Blades.
Yeah,
like I would just pay Blades with the Havoc engine, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But anyway, so objectives and threats both just use clocks, which means it is just a line of boxes, and let's say that it says get inside the German technology pavilion, and it's got 6 boxes. So that means 6 successes have to go towards that before you succeed at it. I like clocks. I like clocks this way, where it's boxes instead of like a circle that you're like actually checking it off like a clock. This one fits better in my brain. But that's how it works. And it's the same thing with threats. So it's got an infantry squad listed here, and it's 6 boxes, attack 3, which means you have to get 3 eliminate the threat successes against the GM's 3d6 threat pool to eliminate this threat. I like it. I think it's clean. I think it's easy. And let me tell you what, if we're both saying that this is a better Blades in the Dark, 6 box clock attack 3 is way fucking better than like approach and position and all the fucking
absolutely. Yeah, there's no question in my mind. You were correct.
The entire conversation you have to have every time you want to do anything.
We're such consummate like Blades in the Dark critics. It's so funny.
I'm a hater. I'm just a straight up hater. I'm a critic of a lot of things. But we needed to have a Blades counter as much as we need a 5e counter, because I think it'd be catching up. Anyway, that is how threats and objectives work. It's clean, it's easy, I like it. You just have to get a number of successes towards either, and then you narrate it out, right? And then there's reinforcements, which seems like a really cool idea, but I think it's just a broken pain in the ass. Read second and third paragraph on page 38. I didn't even take notes. I said just read it. Okay, it passed me. I'll read it. At the end of each round, if a threat was reduced to 0 rating, restore its rating by 1d6 and return its attack to half its starting value, rounded down. Oh, okay. In addition, increase each active threat's attack by 1 as Nazi forces close in on the vampire. If the GM rolls 0 successes on their attack dice, increase the threat's attack by 1 once the player has resolved their action. The end of the round is a good moment to check that this has been applied. That, I don't know why, it's not, it's like 3 sentences. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's maybe like the least clean, concise like rule in here.
Yeah. I don't personally like it. The thing is, though, here's the thing. It's not like you have 5 threats going on at once. Like, the situation you're in is 1 threat. So if it is a 6 rating, you reduce it to and it's reduced to 0. You roll 1d6 and unmark those boxes. So let's say you get a 3, it's back to 3, and then return its attack to half its starting value. So if it was 3, it would now be 1,
right? Because
it's half its value rounded down. But then, if the GM rolls 0 successes, you increase the thrust attack by 1. So every time I roll, is that every time I roll 0 successes, or the first time? Like, do I just increase the rating every single fucking time? Like, I like the idea.
I definitely read that as every time, like, because you start with 1, so every time you, like, in this scenario, if you're have so little dice, especially in D6 dice pool, like, it does make sense that, like, as you get reinforcements, like, you generate some more dice to have a higher chance of hitting a success. And that also gives the characters like a amount of time where their successes are more meaningful with their dice pools, because they have so much less to go against.
Yeah. It says here that the whole point of this is Nazi forces close in on the vampires. But I mean, like, narratively, like, it's the same threat, and then now you have the threat come back, but less. Like, I would rather, like, a new threat come in. You know what I mean? Like, just have, like, reinforcements as, like, I don't know.
I feel like that would be tedious. It'd be, like, this constant, like,
it is tedious.
It'd be hard to gain ground if it came back at the same level every time. It makes sense that, like, I go into a base, they have their, like, forces, they're stationed there, I wipe them out, reinforcements start coming, but obviously it's not as concentrated as the actual forces stationed.
What I'm saying is, instead of it coming back the same, I don't know, my brain would be a lot easier if it didn't say, like, return all of its stuff back.
Yeah.
As opposed to, my brain would work better if it said, add a new force that has half as many and half as many.
Yeah.
In my brain, add a new one that does exactly the same works a lot better than just put the old one back halfway. You know what I mean? I don't know why my brain works better that way. But you can also just go to the giant red box below that says reinforcements caveat. And it basically says, if you don't want to do that shit because it sucks, don't. If your players want a more relaxing time, you can ignore the rule and increase the rating and damage by 1 to 3 points instead. I would just do that. I just did that every time. So that's it. Challenge. Not all challenges are made equal. Sometimes there is a challenge rating on an objective, and it's basically armor soak for an objective. So if you have an objective challenge rating of 1, that means just putting 1 doesn't work. As far as I read it, the challenge rating stays. It's not like you have to get rid of it one time. It's always there. That's what I read. So that you have to put at least 2 on it to get it to go down by 1. Or do you think, because otherwise, why wouldn't you just raise it by 1? Like, to me, it's soak. If you have a challenge rating 1, you have to put 2 on it every time to get it to go down 1.
Right.
There's like an armor soak basically for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game obviously works in scenes because like the threat comes and now you have the clock to fill and then you move to the next thing. There's secondary objectives, which are a thing, and a lot of that is basically like if you get downed, that's a secondary objective. You can loot. I like the looting. I think it's a good idea. Again, I like that the equipment is written in such a way that it encourages you to use it so you can pick up new stuff. But it also kind of doesn't make the looting very easy. Like apparently, like a lot of the times, if you want to pick something up, you have to like build it yourself, versus just like I don't know. Like there's a whole section here that says you don't need to do this every single time, but like if you want to do it, here's the way that you can build it and stuff like that. For a game that moves this fast, I think it's interesting that like it's that all the loot isn't just like this is what you can have.
Yes.
You know. Some more cool art. Flashbacks. One of the last things here. So flashbacks I think are interesting. Obviously, again, kind of gives you an idea of Blades in the Dark, but on the Kickstarter page, it talked about meaningful flashbacks. So the way flashback works is once per session, when you roll 2 successes or fewer, you can trigger a flashback, and it says to spur yourself to victory and not let Hitler win easily. Basically, there's flashback context and flashback question. You roll on these things. So for example, question 1, you saved character, and you would like pick a character or roll or whatever from certain death. What nearly killed them? You basically have this like stop thing where you like actually like play out like a flashback in the past, have like a little narrative moment. Right. Cool. And afterwards you get to add 2 dice to your dice pool and re-roll the entire thing. So mechanically, I don't understand how that's meaningful in any way, shape, or form. It's just like anytime you want more dice, just have like a narrative pause and then get 2 dice, versus at least in Blades, if you were doing a flashback, it'd be like, oh, like 2 days ago, I put a rope under this box. I
set myself up for success.
Right. Yeah. And then you get to use your flashback going forward, just getting a couple of dice for it. I mean, again, this game, and we'll talk about it more in a little bit, really wants you to RP a lot. And this is like, I guess, a nice little pause to do that. But like, as far as meaningfulness within the game context, it feels, tacked on a little bit to me. Then the mission structure is how this works, because you only have the one. There's a briefing, and it literally gives you the entire briefing. There's the coffin fall, which is an interesting thing to call it, because at no other time do they call it a coffin fall. They call it coffin dropping, a coffin drop coffins, but they call it coffin fall here. And that's basically the coffin falling. Do you want to go over the coffin drop stuff later? That's a cool bit. Or do you want me to talk about how that works? I
mean, do we need to go over it? You're in a coffin that falls out of the sky. Like,
no, there's more to it than that.
I know, but yeah.
Yes. So we're going over it right now. So each coffin slams into the ground at terminal velocity. It's a giant metal box that you're in, and you get dropped in a giant metal box and become fucking paste because you smash that hard. But the nuns from what is the place called? Our Lady of Ruin have filled the coffin with their blood, so it also breaks at the same time, splashes all over your paste body, and you instantly regenerate. Cool idea.
Yeah, super solid vampire drop pod idea.
I can't imagine that it tickles. They never talk about how you put your clothes back on. It's a cool idea that, like, in practice would be fucking awful.
Yeah.
All the time, instead of just being like, let's drop a tiny bit slower.
Well, they put your clothes and stuff in like a little black box, and then you go in naked, essentially. Yeah.
You go on ass naked, become paste, get rebuilt with blood instantly. Again, instead of maybe just like open up a parachute a little bit before ground and you're a vampire and you can survive. I don't know. I think it's a cool fucking idea that they ran with. Someone sometime obviously went, what if we did this? And everyone, and they just went, yeah, we're sticking with it. I don't care if it's practical or not. So the coffin drops. Onwards is basically you're just like fighting through the streets of Paris. There's Ubermenschen in the game, which are basically just mini bosses, which have their own kind of like whole situation. There's the climax where you finally find Hitler and kill him, and then there's the epilogue where you talk about it afterwards. And that's the rules. Them's the rules. And then you get 2 pages of how to run the game. And that's mechanics. So
Cool.
what do you want to do for character generation?
So character generation, we'll just talk. I'll do an overview, and then we'll look at Cosgrave, because that's the one I would look at.
Okay.
So you have 7 pre-made characters to pick from. Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing some on my notes. That's so weird.
I don't think it's 7.
It's not 7.
You get Irina, you get Nicole, you get Cosgrave, you get Chuck, you get Astrid, and you get Flint. So it's only 6.
Oh, weird. I copied these notes from another page. I must not have copied Chuck. That's what I'm missing. It's 6,
Gotcha.
not 7. So you have 6 pre-made characters to choose from. You have Irina, a posh vampire noble with some domination kind of magic. Nicole, a vampire guerrilla fighter who blows shit up. Cosgrove, a necromancer with some opportunities for like creative magic use, the most magical character. You have the next Cosgrave is Chuck, a kind of cowpoke gunslinger repairman kind of guy, fix-it guy. Astrid, a ex-fighter pilot. It's kind of made to be like an easy entry character, somebody who doesn't want like an overwhelming amount of stuff for RP, and actually I think has some of the best utility abilities. And then Flint, a man-bat actual monster. That is great. It's super good character.
Love him.
We can get to just scroll to Cosgrove's and I'll kind of overview, and then we'll go over things. So your characters are made of several things. You have stats, which Ryan has already listed off. I won't do again. Equipment, which depending on what character you pick, you get 2 to 6. You start with 2 to 6 items specific to your character: weapons, explosives, tools. Abilities, 3 things that your character can do. They have a cost of blood, usually, but not always. Advances. There are advancements you can take by drinking. I think the only way to advance is by drinking the Ubermensch blood.
I think so, yeah.
Injuries, which is your injury track, which is unique, I think, to every character. It is not I think. It is unique to every character. You have a blood little gauge on the side to track your blood. And then you have your last stand ability. So for Cosgrave, equipment they start out with is a knife, enormous knife, a sawed-off shotgun, bottled ghost, and the Mother Millicent's stolen soul jar. The bottled ghost give you ++ to pass through walls, and Mother Millicent's stolen soul jar has 1 use, but it gives you a +4, or is it +3? +3 on anything.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta pick how you use it. It's a very interesting item. It's maybe the most interesting item, honestly.
Yeah. I kind of rolled over in the equipment because we were going to talk about it. So the way that what it says off to the side, so it says like ++ point blank. If you meet that condition, so you are point blank with somebody, you get 2 bonus dice when you use it. That's what the ++ is, and that's what the things on the side are conditions. I like that. I think that's really clever way to. It's in my opinion because I hate the word tags and I hate how tags are used.
Yes.
This is how I would use tags. Yeah. This is what I would do. Instead of saying loud, comma, close, comma, bloody, comma, you know what I mean? Anyway. Okay.
And then Cosgrave has 3 abilities: Dance Macabre, Back Pocket Hex, and Phantasmagoria. They all do things. You want me to read through all these?
No.
Perfect.
Unless there's one that's so cool that you have to read it.
I just think that they're all fine. They're fine. They're fine. You get 3 advances. Actually, one of the advances I think is maybe my favorite one, just arbitrarily. Memory Rot, which is that you spend 1 blood to remove or implant memories and someone you lock eyes with, and you get a +1 die if you're trying to be like you were never there, which I think is like a really interesting thing. Yeah, then you have Death Burst and Dead Man's Luck. You have their injury track, and their last stand is Undead Horde. Another 8d6 last stand. So the characters are pretty simple. Yeah. This is also form fillable in the book and on the character sheet, which I do really appreciate.
Yeah, crazy. Again, and the usability shit, they go off.
Yeah, they really went off on usability.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. In this section, we also get these like great character portraits. We've kind of seen a little bit of a teaser from on the cards you were showing earlier, but these character portraits are fantastic.
Fire. Incredible.
Yeah, they're. I mean, and we've kind of been going through the book, and we haven't really mentioned that the whole book is great all the way through. It's like
visually
dossiers and files and like typed sheets, and it's amazing how good it looks.
Yeah, when we hit art, we'll definitely tag on that a little bit more. But yeah, and yeah, you don't create characters. You can. There's some hacking stuff in the back to creating a character,
right?
But like you just get one handed to you, which is fine. Like it's basically a pre-gen because you're playing one scenario.
Yeah, the one scenario.
Yeah, I like this. I think it's interesting. I mean, I think that you could use. I think it's cool. I think that when we hit a lot of the likes and don't likes and some of the stuff, we'll talk a little bit deeper about what's going on with that.
I agree. We're about to get there. So
yeah, let me run through there's a tiny bit of lore that I wanted to touch on earlier and totally forgot, and then we're gonna hit our likes and don't likes here. It talks about Nazis. They're there. And it's basically, again, this is not real Germany, or this is not real, France, whatever. It's not historically accurate. It's for this. There's FANG, FANG, which is the organization that I don't think they ever tell you what it means. This is the organization started 6 months ago of basically vampires and shit to fight Nazis, right?
Yeah, it literally says there's no official documentation for the acronym FANG. So yeah,
I mean, if you're gonna like, that's so smart to just be like, we wanted to say this, and we're just not going to tell anybody what it is.
Perfect. Yeah, great.
In Night Thirst from Woody, their skirmish game, their stake agents, STAKE, and it's not listed what that means. I think she has what it really means, but she's never told anyone. I asked her, she told me no. Vampires. It talks about what vampires are. Guess what? They're vampires. Drop coffins. This is what it talked about before. This tactical drop coffin with the Our Lady of Rowan and everything. It's here for some reason. And then there's a dope 2-page spread that talks about the let's see if the 2-page view is here. Yeah, that's a great fucking piece of art. Of just like a picture of the schematics for a drop coffin, which is fucking crazy. Yeah. So that's the lore bit before we hit some of the stuff. So let's hop into our likes and don't likes. Man. Oh, this is gonna be a longer episode than I thought. I think we fucked around a little bit in the beginning. So what do I not like about this? I'm gonna say this is gonna be a part that might be a little bit contentious, or people might have opinions on. It's 30 pages before you get to a single rule. It is 30 pages on a 76-page book before you hit a single rule. And then what is between that? Let's talk about that a little bit. So this game is definitely written as a for someone who's apparently never played a tabletop role-playing game before.
Totally, yeah.
And we've talked about this a bunch of time, like 101 games versus 201 or 301 games, and like I can like 9,000 people backed this, so I can imagine maybe some people backed it where they might not have played a tabletop role-playing game before. It would be very weird, in my opinion, for your very first tabletop game to be a Rowan, Rook, and Dekard vampire killing Nazis like game. But this game is written from the very beginning as if you've never even heard of a tabletop role-playing game before. And they want to thoroughly explain that to you. And not only that, like it's Nazis and shit, so they want to thoroughly make sure that they're uncancelable with how much they tell you how much they hate Nazis and how you shouldn't be one and stuff, which I think is very good.
Yes.
You don't need 15 pages of it, in my opinion. So let's talk about that a little bit. I took some notes here at the bottom. It is 13 pages about what is a role-playing game and Nazis are bad, and 12 pages of rules. It's a
perfect.
There is I think an overcorrection here that it's. I mean, I agree with all of the things, right? It's just like Rebel Scum is a game about, it's Star Wars and they specifically talk about fighting space Nazis, and space Nazis are bad, and they do that in 4 pages, in a 76-page book. I think the correlation between that is kind of crazy. So running through page by page, the first page is like, welcome, what is this, what this isn't, who this is for, what is a role-playing game, what is this role-playing game. Up to here they had me, right? I like the what is this role-playing game a lot more than what is a role-playing game. What is the Havoc engine? Apparently they needed to name this very simple D6 dice pool with clocks thing as an engine or a PBTA, or like it has to have a name because that's what everyone does for their branding, right? I like it. I just think it's a 1-page dice pool game that whatever. The underlying ethical stance of this game, I'm also good with this section. I think they could have stopped after this section, but this game is not in and of itself an act of resistance. It is an act of creativity which reflects our frustration with the real world's ongoing Nazi problems. For some players, telling a story of fictional, over-the-top combat against some of history's worst people feels fun and cathartic. For others, reenacting a fight against literal World War II Nazis feels depressing or distasteful, or pretending to be a monster feels raw and upsetting. EAT the Reich isn't for everyone, and there's no shame in not wanting to take part. You're deep into this already. If you're 5 pages in and you haven't decided that already, come on. Like, there's an amount of here where they're just choosing to make a statement, which you can. It's your game, and it's if you consider it art, it is your art, and you can make as many statements as you want. But as a book, like after this point, I think the rest of it could just be moved to the back of the book.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much is between the front cover and the rules of the game. The highlighted section here. We also consider anti-fascist violence meaningfully different from, say, violence against random orcs in a fantasy game. Nazis have indicated that they are evil, harmful, oppressive to you by their choice. Whereas killing an orc just because they were born an orc is definitely racist and probably something Nazis would do. I agree with all this. Fuck Nazis. Punch Nazis in the face. We are a very hardcore leftists here.
Yeah, you know, if I said what I think should happen to Nazis, we get banned.
We would get banned. There are terms of service here on Twitch, but we agree with this wholeheartedly. This statement is a very good statement. The underlying ethical stance of this game, cool, super down. And then it just keeps piling on over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like, safety tools are a thing that every game should have. I think at this point in 2025, for the most part, again, except like Baby's first role-playing game is the way that they wrote a lot of this stuff, you can just mention that they are a thing and link to something else, but they don't here. They list every possible safety tool across like multiple pages. There's a whole section here on playing anti-heroes, which basically just says like sometimes you're playing the bad guys but you still kill fascists. Like, it gets to a point where it's like we fucking get it, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about it. Content warning on page 7 when you've already talked about like ripping Nazis in half and like you're playing Nazis and stuff. Like, it gets to a point where like, okay, like, again, notes on tone and content could have gone in the back. Playing anti-heroes could have gone in the back. I'm completely fine with all the writing for this, even though I think it is a bit much because they just ramble on very conversationally, sometimes explaining some of this stuff.
There is a lot of that. I mean, like, I think a lot of this could have stayed where it is if they had, like, it's very chatty, you know?
It's very chatty. It's very, very, very chatty. Like, slim it up. But honestly, again, I think after, in my opinion, page 5, almost all of this could just be put in the back of the book because that's where the evil calibration chart is, which is the thing that's here, which, okay, all right. It's whatever. But all of this, you could just say, there is an entire chapter in the back of the book that has X, Y, and Z in it. Read that. So we don't have to wait 25 more pages to get to the game. So then there's that, and then there's playing antiheroes, and there's historical general content warning, historical accuracy, which honestly probably should have been on page 1. A whole section here on innocent bystanders, and like literally telling you like real people don't die, and like all the rest of the stuff. And it's just like, okay, to like, I understand that, but like 3 paragraphs, like a lot of this stuff is, I think one of my issues with it is that anyone that like is with you, right? Nazis bad, punch them.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And is already on the same page as you, doesn't need this information, kind of.
Right.
You know? And anyone that's not with you and is like, no, Nazis good, is going to ignore this information anyway. So like, I'm curious who the audience for this is. Again, like it just feels like very a soapbox. Which,
yeah, it's
your game.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it, but like, as like, again, if this is fine, stick it in the back of the book. Actual discrimination, of course, racism is awful, and it's a fundamental aspect of fascism. It's really bad. Like, anyone who is playing your vampire game of killing Nazis agrees with you.
No, but
just put this in the back of the book.
Might not, like
just put it in the back of the book.
It's very odd.
A section here on playing with history, where it talks about like, you know, more stuff. Back of the book. Setting up your game. This section, I thought it was actually about setting up this game. No, it's literally talking about, setting up a game again, like as if this is the first time they've ever heard of a tabletop role-playing game. And it's just such a weird, it's kind of weird in the amount that they put, the amount of effort and pages they put into that. Like, if you've run a role-playing game before, you can probably skip this section. Okay, then why is this section here? Because literally, it literally is just like, grab some friends, pick a place to play the game. That is what the where is. Like, what are you talking about? Like, when, if you have a job with regular daytime hours, you'll probably only be able to play on the evening and weekends. Why are you explaining this? Like, this is literally the basics of making a plan. Every human being.
Every other page, I think there's somewhere maybe an argument for some of it, or like, this is actually the craziest page. Like,
it is the most unnecessary page in the entire book.
Have you never fucking scheduled anything before? Do you not understand?
It's literally explaining how to schedule an event with friends. It just happens to be this event, and it's the most ridiculous thing to put in this game. Like, it's crazy. The choosing your character section is like 3 lines on a page, where on the very next page it and goes over like the characters, arena, gothic socialite, blah blah blah, but on the very next page it's got arena again, and it lists like why the character would be used. Like, these do not need to be 2 separate pages, but then immediately goes into like playing with identity and like religion and stuff.
We're still in your don't like section, right? That's what we're doing right now.
Yes. Yeah. This, like, I get it. Like, the iconic vampires have no preset pronouns, religion, sexualities, neurotypes. Like, basically, you made pre-gen characters that have no personality or identifiers whatsoever. So what was the point of the pre-gen characters? Like, that's getting to a point that's just
let
crazy.
Me do that part. That's what I'm going to put out. That's the part I'm going to talk about.
I don't know. It's just like, they're very much trying to have their cake and eat it too in this situation. Not to get it. And like, playing with identity, trust me, if you're 12 pages in and agree with all the fascism stuff, you're totally down for like the pronouns and trans rights and neuro atypical people and sexualities and religion. Like, we're on the same page. Again, this could have gone in the back of the book in a dossier on how to not be a piece of shit. Like, I would have been very happy if there's literally just like a page that opened to a folder, and this is like because none of this is how to play the game. Again, this is very like soapboxy in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it gets into religion and like blood libel with anti-Semitism and stuff. Again, like, this is
all stuff I agree with. Like, I agree with their take on
100%, a million %. It just, again, it's
very virtue signaling in a certain way, though.
That's, I mean, you said it, not me, but I completely agree. Like, it's a lot. And again, I agree with 100% of every fucking word written. Slap it in the back of the book. If you want to put that statement and all of these statements in this game, just put it in the back of the fucking book.
Yeah.
Like, and then we get all of the character art, which is 2-page spreads each, before you ever know anything about like how the rules work. We've talked about this over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it several times, but not even like hey, this is a dice pool system. Like, it doesn't even like nothing. And then we still haven't got to any rules. Then you get lore.
That starts
And
on
then
page
wait, it's weird 'cause
26.
it's another like lore thing, but weirdly in between those two sections.
Yes.
Like
The character
just put
sheet
it
and then the actual rules.
just put it before the characters since you already have a bunch of shit there anyway. Like if you're
Put it before
if
the
you're gonna-
characters.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
Nazis
put all
and
the shit in the
Fang
back of the
and vampires. Yeah, and then the whole section on drop coffins could just be later in the book when it talks about drop coffins in the mission
Yes.
briefing. All of this art and this lore and stuff could
When I
just be
got to
under the
briefing,
coffin
I was
fall
like,
section.
why was that earlier? Because we're talking about it now.
We're talking about what the coffin fall is, so why wouldn't the lore of the coffin fall be with the coffin fall? Like, I mean, this just feels like they wanted the art gallery in the front of the book, which it's gorgeous. I mean, again, this is one of the coolest spreads in the entire book, but it just feels like they filled so much stuff in the front of the book when they could have just spaced it out. The structure of the book is crazy. So that is my kind of like don't like is
Perfect.
is just how
all
much
the stuff you just said.
all the stuff before that you actually get to any part of the game. What is yours?
My don't like is that so when you read the character descriptions, like the little blurbs they do before the characters, they give you these like personality types for these characters. Or like to a degree, like they're described as people because this is like an RP game, but like there's not pretty much any like mechanical reinforcement to RP. Like if Chuck is a jokester cowboy character, there's nothing in his character sheet that reinforces RP. Like I could play him as a sociopath cowboy. I mean, he's a cowboy hat, you know, like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of like reinforcement. I mean, I have an issue with everything you just said, but I'm not rehashing that. But like
Right.
I would like to see like, oh, Irina is this like posh, snooty vampire noble that uses domination magic. Like I guess domination magic in that case is the reinforcement to RP, but that's really an ability, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have a little bit more of that.
I agree with you, you know, definitely to a point. I think that how they wrote the characters, I mean, one of the things that you said earlier is very much like I don't remember what it was, but when we were talking about like playing with identity and stuff like that, it's just like so we gave you these characters, but then did not give them any identifying anything. Make it your own kind of, but then at that point, like, why are you making me do a pre-gen character? Just give me the pre-gen character.
Well, especially in this, especially because they took the time to say like, this is this character's personality. This is for this type of person. It's like, well, then how? Why? Give me something for it. You know?
Not only that, in that section, it literally says like, we even drew the art so that you would know what we're saying. Like when you look at like Astrid and stuff, it's just like, okay, like we get it. Well, like we get that they like. In like the way that they intend, this is not just made this clear. I think Astrid probably has they them pronouns. Like, just say that they do. Like, it's a very weird like mix of like we're giving you their exact personality. We're telling you that identities and stuff exist, but we chose not to for this reason. It's just like it's very much half in and half out. Like, if you're gonna soapbox this much about the stuff, then just make a statement and slap the stuff on there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of stuff with the little blurbs. Like, it's like they talk about Cosgrave being for somebody who can like creatively apply magic, but for like the most part, when you get past the stolen soul jar, which is like applicable to anything, it's not.
There's not a lot of flavor on the character sheets. It's really just the names of the abilities and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, like
he's got a knife, a shotgun, and
I'm always for the open application of magic, right? Because my favorite magic systems is like it's a light descriptor, and how you apply it is how you apply it. But just like if I raise a bunch of corpses for around a minute, like that's what that does. Like there's not like I can make them do stuff, I guess. Like that's the creative application, right? But it's not like, oh, you have the element of fire, fucking figure out how you use that shit. Cause like, you know, you could apply it and I could heat metal, I could summon a fire sword, I could, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel as open-ended magic wise as like they are saying. It's like, oh, it's very creative. I mean, it's somewhat creative.
And I mean, and I agree with you, but I also think that like what I try to keep in my head all the time is that the game runs fast and designed to be played one time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quickly. And like it's they're pre-gens, but like I still think that like a little bit more flavor in, because like you said, like a lot of the abilities and stuff are pretty much the same thing. Like spend one blood, do this one thing, spend the thing, do this other thing. There's just not a lot of like actual mechanical. It's just more the names of the things that give you flavor more than like anything that actually reinforces the character at all.
I think my greatest issue is with like the personality thing, because like Nicole is very the gorilla fire is very bitter by being bitten by her ex-girlfriend or whatever, right? But like, where is that anywhere? How is that like how can I reward my player for playing into that RP?
Yeah, you could delete that and just hand the character sheet,
and it'd be the fucking same thing.
And that's what I said. Like, that's why it feels very half in, half out with the characters. Like, commit to the characters being the characters, or commit to like letting people make their own characters and just giving them a set of stats. It's very half in, half out. My beef with the character sheet while we're in here is the injuries thing. I said I was going to talk about that earlier. They don't matter. I don't understand why they're called categories, because it's not like a light injury, a medium injury, or a heavy injury. Like, it's just injuries, and you mark the first one and then the second one, but it's 6 injuries and then you roll a d6. It's like you could also easily just like, if you roll a 4, just mark the 4th injury. It's just a weird way that they kind of like separated that out. Anyway, so
and then, so my likes. I actually like a game that's made to do one thing and just does that one thing. I think that is a strength of this. I think that other people out there writing games, they're like, this is my fantasy heartbreaker. Don't do that shit. Write a game for a scenario / adventure. It could be longer than this one, certainly, but like it does, like, I like that it's made to do a thing, you know? Also, art and layout go crazy. Like,
art and layout go crazy. That's the easy answer. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Again, visually and everything as a product, this goes crazy. And that's what I wrote for my, like, the obvious and true answer is that the art and vibes are off the fucking chain. But like, we talked about this before. I think that the Bloodship Returns, the Super Blood Harvest does this way better. Like, it wrote an adventure, wrote enough rules so you would run that adventure, but this one kind of feels like they wanted to do that and then went, oh, we can make something of this Havoc Engine thing. Let's make it SRDable, you know what I mean? And then toss it in there. Like, I don't know. The system doesn't feel built for this. I don't know. Anyway, so those are likes and dislikes. Let's run through the metrics of what we do real quick, and then we'll score this and get out of here. So for those that don't know what we do score our game, our terrible opinions with metrics, and we have mashed those metrics together, whether it's zine or book, into these 6, and we use 5 of them to score books and 3 of them to score zines. It is art and layout, usability, rule set, originality, value, and vibes. So art and layout, I think, is going to be the easiest one that we're not going to take really any time on. It fucks so hard. This is one of the most beautiful books I've ever picked up.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to look at. Like, it really is like such a treat to go through it. I mean, and like, it's so quality all the way through. I love just even the pages with like, there's no page that has no art. Let's be clear, but like the pages that are like art minimal, they're just like these dossier pages. But even that, they like these mark throughs, these little notes, like little like page ender art or stuff clipped on the side. It's just it's so great. Like, every page is like that.
Yeah. It's crazy. You know what this really like brought forward into my head was Never Going Home. And remember how much just hated that it was like it was made for the page to look like a fake page versus this where it is a top down of a page on a table. It's not trying to make the page look like a dossier page.
And there's like
it's
stuff,
giving you a
like
picture of the dossier page
around some of the pages, or like other stuff clipped on the side. Or
this is such a better way to do it. And not only that, it is readable the whole way through with a very simple 1-column straight down thing. But like you said, I went through this book multiple times just to look at each page and see the little notes and the little funny shit that they added. Like the little add-on bits, like you said, the garlic, the tongue just hanging off one of them, like the little clips and shit. It's crazy how much detail went to every single page. The art budget on this had to be through the roof. Like, had to be massive, astronomical. So. Like, it's
good.
crazy.
I hope
Will Kirby,
because I think they did the illustration layout as well. I think
illustration and layout,
Odds and Ends said that in the chat, and I believe that's right.
Yeah, art and graphic design is Will Kirkby. Words, Grant Howitt. Additional word, James Mendez Hodes. Editing and proofreading, Miles Hamilton. Production, Miles Hamilton.
Whatever they paid them, They should have
Not
paid him
enough.
more.
Yeah, and it still is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. All right, usability. I mean, I think okay, let's do pros. Let's do the good shit. First of all, PDF remediation from die sugars, fucking massive bonus points for you right there.
Totally.
Does it have hyperlinks? You better fucking believe it. Does it have inline hyperlinks? You better fucking believe it. Like, killed it with that. Not only that, we already talked about the fact that all of the character sheets in the game book itself, not even just in the book, the character sheet PDF that you get in the game book, are form fillable.
It's so funny they're form fillable in the book too, because like for me, I would have this on my iPad and I'd mark my my characters playing, and I would probably quick scroll every once in a while. Just before
you can keep up with what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Does it have bookmarks? Yep, it fucking does. Bookmark to hell. So for all the things that we want from a usability standpoint, does it have a bookmark in the physical? No, it's a paperback. It's a soft cover book.
It's fine. It's 76 pages
great.
too.
It's 76 pages. It's
they
great.
also came with a bookmark, so
yeah. If you got to the tier, you could get it with a bookmark and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. So from a usability standpoint, for all the things that we complain about, killed it, right? Now, actual book itself, I think the structure of the book is poor. I think that, again, 30 pages before you hit a rule, you get the dropship stuff that could be other places, everything that we talked about. Like, I think that also the structure later, like at the back of the book has an appendix in before, we didn't even talk about this. The appendix in and inspirations is before you get to the part about hacking and making your own characters. So it's like, here's more rules, but after we do the appendix in bit, which should be the last thing, was a weird way to put that in there. There's a lot of places. Yeah, it's pretty poorly put together. Like, it's not super easy to parse through. There are a lot of places where rules could be clarified. Like, I still think it's super weird that the core dice mechanic is just a graphic. At no point is it ever actually written out. And like I don't know. Yeah, those are, I think, as far as from a usability standpoint, those are the beefs. What about you?
I have no notes to add towards usability. I mean, you pretty much covered everything. I even like I typed out some notes and I erased them and I just put C above. Because like you pretty much hit every beat that I would have talked about. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Rule set. Yeah, rule set. So it's fine. I like the Havoc engine. I think the Havoc engine would be better served in a more open-ended game. Weirdly, we talked about this too. I think this is a better Blades in the Dark. It is a dice pool game. It uses clocks. It has flashbacks. But it's all of it is done in a way that I like much better. I think the clocks and everything are much better than approach and all the rest of that stuff. I think the threat pool from GMs is a cool mechanic that I really enjoy a lot. The allocation of the dice I think is really cool. The flashbacks, even though they really don't fucking matter, basically it's just like quick chat with each other real quick and I'll give you 2 bonus dice.
I kind of like that they're a little bit less meaningful because it means you can have them and you can build a little backstory for your character or relationships they have, and then you get like a little bonus for it. Well, I mean, rerolling all your dice is not a little bonus. Adding 2 dice is a little bonus statistically, but
both. I mean, it's significant. Yeah.
I think it's a way better flashback.
I agree because I hate Blades in the Dark flashbacks because I hate the idea of just being like, because I like people having the consequences of their actions, and I
really like Ocean's 11 that much. So.
Yeah, the things that I really dislike most about Blades at its very core is all the ways in which you can do a thing and then take it back. Like, there's a million ways where you can be like, I did this thing. Oh, I fucked up. Never mind. I do this. Oh, never mind. I do this. Oh, never mind. I did flashback. I did this. Like, you never actually suffer the consequences of your actions. I like this better. I'm saying that I don't think, it's again, it's not as mechanically been interesting as the flashback where you can actually change the situation, but I don't like that you can do that. So I like this flashback better. Injuries, I talked about that. They're weird. I don't understand why they're called categories because there's no actual categories listed. It's weird that there's 6 injuries and you can roll d6, but if you roll like a 4, you actually mark the 3rd injury, which is in the 1st injury in category 2. It's just like, I get it, but like I think there's some, I don't know, there's something missing or not structured.
They can clean up that rule. I agree.
Yeah, like they literally could just have it be like, but it's not even like a light injury, medium injury, heavy injury. Like they're different. They're different, it's not like you can just be like, if you roll this one, do the next higher, it doesn't make a difference. Reinforcements, I just think I would just do the caveat every time. That just seems like a pain in the butt. And then already talked about flashbacks are better in my opinion, but really like are for narrative, not for mechanical. Obviously, like the reroll is mechanical, but you know what I mean? Like it's not intrinsic to the game in the way that flashbacks are intrinsic to blades. It's basically just like cool narrative building, but they are, in my opinion, not mechanically meaningful as much as they are narratively meaningful for building backstory. What about you?
I like this rule set more than blades. I think that it works well for this. I also agree it maybe work better in more open-ended thing. I mean, my major thing is like I'd like to see more like GM incentivization for like characters to RP. Like I wish that there was a mechanic for incentivizing RP from the GM side to the players. The reinforcement rule, I agree with, needs to be cleaned up. And yeah, I think the injury track, like mounting injury track would be maybe more, something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I overall like this system.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel, I don't know. I feel, and we haven't played it yet, and I would like to play this. I'm not going to run it. I just feel like there's some type of disconnect between the system. Like it just feels, if I'm going to run this game, I feel like I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more from the characters. I want a little bit more from the system. I don't feel like the system has any bearing or any meaningful reinforcement of killing Nazis as vampires. You know what I mean? Like it's just, like I said, it feels like an SRD. It feels like they went, oh, this could be something. Let's make it an SRD. We'll stick it in here. It works, but none of it really reinforces fighting, using vampires to kill Nazis.
Like I think it would work. Like I think it works, but you're right.
Anything can
it's not
work.
It's not like a bespoke, rule system that reinforces the exact type of game, which is funny because this game is a one adventure game.
That is the thing. The whole point of the game is to run this one adventure, but you put a system in that could be used for fucking anything. If you're gonna make a game that is one thing, there's a weird disconnect in having a system that they're clearly going to use for a bunch of other stuff. Be used for that game that does that one thing. Like I would have much rather if the game was really made to be this game. There's a weird disconnect there. All right, originality. I mean, it's Vampire and Glorious Bastards, and I know in the appendix end they said, oh, we don't really like it. That's all that's what this is. It's Vampire and Glorious Bastards, even to the point of like the way that Hitler dies at the end and shit. Like that's all it is. So I don't know if that's original or not. I think when you look at like art and production and like drop coffins and some of the lore and shit, I think there's a lot of really great originality with that. I think getting to play vampires is really cool. You don't actually get to do that a lot, to be the good guys as anti-hero vampires. It's Suicide Squad meets Inglourious Bastards, but as vampires. And I think that's cool as shit. I don't think it's not original. I just don't, like, I don't know where I stand on it. What are your thoughts?
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I mean, there are parts of it that are, like you said, there's some original aspects to this, and it's a cool vampire game, and I love vampire games. I love being a little vampire boy. And hey, I think in games, Nazis should all die in games. And maybe other places. But yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah,
it's fine.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's cool.
I mean, like once again, things don't have to be wholly original to be cool or fun. So if you're like,
I agree,
Hunter, you're an asshole for saying it's fine. This part it maybe matters the least. You can rehash something 100 times and it'll still be cool. Yeah,
I mean, and we didn't even talk about the Uber mention. Like the boss fight bad guys are incredible. Let's scroll through the art real quick for like the Rust Witch and stuff. Like these are your set scene mini boss bad guys before you get to Hitler, and they're cool as shit. Yeah, they're really, really cool. It is literally a set scene piece where you battle these guys. They have a lot of crazy cool abilities. It's really interesting. So I mean, I like all of that. I like that aspect of all of it. We'll get there. So value wise, the PDF is $15. The softcover is $30. I think that's great fucking value.
I think it's a crazy price for how good that fucking softcover book looks. Like $30 for that's fucking criminal, Yeah,
it's crazy. And then vibes, immaculate through the fucking roof.
You're
I
really
mean,
good. I think they'd be better if there was a rule system in this that really reinforced what this game is.
yeah, I think it's taken. This is one of the reasons I love doing the show and love doing the show with you. Is I have thoughts, I have opinions, and then they get to mature as we talk about them, and I can really crystallize my thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about this game that has been bugging me from the beginning, aside from like the soapboxing 30 pages, right? It's that there is a disconnect between the rule set and and what this game wants to be,
and the actual activity of what this game is. Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is because the rules are generic, and I think even the characters like sheets are generic. You could just rename the abilities to anything and make it not vampires. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
Fuck. Why did you say that out loud? Now it's in my head. Like, yeah,
you can just
right,
pick anything. If the ability is like use +1 blood to make these 4 dudes attack, it's like you could just be like use +1 energy
to fire off your missile launcher. Yeah.
Now it's a space game. Like, it's all extraordinarily generic for this one super hyper focused adventure.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's not even like the idea of a rule set being generic that bothers me. Like, a lot of them are because they're made to be open-ended. Like, you're running your adventure in the Black Hack or whatever. Like, it's going to be whatever it is, you know? But, like, this is just this thing. Okay, I don't want to take any more of our time, but yeah.
No. I mean, I got a couple more things before we wrap, because there was a couple more, because it's not just the beginning that... Oh, yeah, we've already been going long. It's not just the beginning of that stuff. There's a section later in the book after running the game. The running the game section is only 2 pages long. Actual, like instruction for helping you actually run the game is only 2 pages. Again, we've already said there's 13 pages about like identity and religion and all the rest of this stuff. 2 pages on actually running it. And then you get a whole page here for being a Nazi for pretend, where it like, look, it might come up. No shit, your NPCs are going to be Nazis. Like, you don't need this much words to be like, you're not a Nazi if you happen to have to be one for an NPC. But be careful when you embody an NPC directly. Taking on the role of someone whose heartfelt beliefs are so absolutely reprehensible as part of a fun game you're playing with your friends can be tricky to handle, whilst making sure everyone is enjoying themselves. Not to mention, if anyone overhears your conversation free of context, don't worry, I'm only pretending to be a Nazi. That's such a weird... No one thought that. No one thought that.
That's so odd. It's so odd and so bizarre. It's so funny.
Like, no one thought that. And then, like, there's a section here on, like, but not Hitler. Hitler doesn't get a voice, which is a weird thing. Also, a whole page here, which has a dope piece of Chuck on it. I won't agree. On accents. A section here on accents where it literally talks about, like, to do or not do accent. Like, again, it's if you needed this at all in this game, throw it in the back of the book. It's weird too, in between running the game and actually getting to the adventure in the game, you have a page on whether to use accents or not. Put this up in the character stuff or stick in the back of the book. Why are you sticking it in between running the game and then the adventure? And then you get to a page that doesn't say this is where the adventure starts, and then before you start breaking into like the actual adventure, which is really a pick your own thing, because it's just like pick 3 from each sector and run with it. I don't know. But like the part about like Hitler not getting a voice is a weird thing to me, because it's just like, it's so anticlimactic, and I understand that that's on purpose, but like there's no actual direction for GMs on how to make this happen. So now Hitler's face to face with the squad of furious, bloody allied vampires, blah, blah, blah. The bad guy should have a dramatic final monologue, right? Wrong. Fuck it. He doesn't get one. He runs like hell as soon as Vampire arrives, and he's cowering in a locked room with an empty Luger when they defeat his protectors and corner him. He's been coordinating the defense this whole time. It's gone wrong at every turn. He's out of options. He doesn't even get to sound confident and use long words to give him the impression of majesty or honor or any of that bullshit. Kill him. War's over. Go home. That's the end of the game. And I'm like, I agree. Don't give him a voice. Don't make him like a cool character at the end. But like, that is not instruction on how a GM should make that happen.
Nope. Figure it out.
Kill him. War's over. Go home. Like your players are gonna want to do more than that. Like, you make this whole game about getting to Hitler and like and killing him, and you're supposed to just like stick a bullet in his head and walk away. And it's just like the characters are gonna want to do more than that. This is 2 paragraphs on an entire huge page. can you please give some instruction on how to be like, they might want to have a conversation. This is how to steer it. They might want to. There is no direction for this game at all. The running the game section is 2 pages.
That either.
Like, I agree with you. Don't give him like a cool final speech. 100%. But like, that is not always going to be an easy thing for GMs to manage. Please give more direction for that. Anyway, so that's the last bit I had. I know we missed some stuff in the game. Like, again, I think the Uber mentions are really cool. Then there's a whole evil calibration checklist, which fine.
There's other stuff in this game. If you have listened to our review and you want to dive deeper,
what I'm saying is, like, does this need to be in here? Like, evil inherent to the setting, evil you engage with, you're Nazis and vampires and shit. At least it's in the back of the book. At least it's close to the back of the book.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Anyway, okay, so
let's rate this thing.
Rate this thing. So again, we're going to do art, layout, usability, rule set, originality, and value for scores. So art and layout.
10.
What do you? Yeah. It's been a long time.
There's nothing you could possibly say that convinced me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's been a long time since we gave a 10 for this. This is. And you know what's crazy too is like this is a 10 in a way that's a little bit different from Merkborg, because Merkborg really takes the layout almost more than the art, the layout, and makes it art. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the font and like the colors and stuff like this. The layout is gorgeous in this, but the actual like word layout, same font almost the entire way through, straight down the middle, single column. And it is still gorgeous and readable and perfect. Yep. Easy 10. Usability. So this one's hard because it has every digital tool we want, including PDF remediation from the wonderful Die Sugars. Yeah. But the structure of the book as a book to use, poor. Yeah. Poor. I agree. Like, again, if you want to keep every word in this book, include everything, so much of that should just be in the back of the book with where the evil calibration checklist is, should be all the stuff on identity and religion and all the rest of it.
I agree. And actually, like a lot of the stuff, I'm like, you should have this in the book. Like, I think there's a lot of important information. It is very odd to have this before we even get to the game. A lot of this stuff. I think a lot of this is really very good. But yeah, maybe put it in like, hey, an appendix on the culture of like this time period, the people who went through it and like and participated in it, you know, like, and like that would be really cool. And it'd be cool because it would allow me to like partition it internally where I'm like, cool, I read the game. Oh, that's its own appendix. Cool, man. I want to read through that.
Not only that would also let you take that appendix and like fucking print it off and be like, hey, this is kind of how I run all my fucking games. You know what I mean? Like and again, it's so weird that it's so scattered and also so front of the book. Yes. We said this over and over again. We agree with every fucking word. Grant Howitt's got it on the fucking nose. Fuck Nazis, free Palestine, trans rights or human rights, 100%. Like, we agree with every fucking word. As a product, structure it better. Like, that's it. So this is hard again because
I think I'm leaning towards a 7. You know, I think it like. Yeah, it's a kind of a mess to navigate by scrolling and the order it's in, but like a lot of the usability tools make up for that gap in a meaningful way. Not to get it to like a 9 or 8, but
yeah. But my issue though is like the point of those tools isn't to make your poorly structured book usable. It's to use a book. So I don't disagree with you. I think 7's a good number for this.
You think we need to go down to 6 or what?
No, I think 7's a good number, but I think it's very much like it's not a 7 because it's a 7. It's a 7 because all of the bad parts are redeemed by parts that are really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're like, oh, this feels like a 7. It's like it feels like a 4 mixed with a 9, so we're slapping into a 7.
I kind of now going down to 6, honestly. I'm also thinking about the need to clean up some of the rules language.
Yeah, we'll go 6 on it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. All right, rule set. Fine.
It's fine.
I like it better than Blades. We've done a million dice pool games this year. This one's okay. It's not the best one. 7.
Yeah. Let's give it a yeah.
Yeah, I like this system. I genuinely don't think I like this system in this game. I think this system, I'm curious what Rowan, Rook, and Dekard are going to use the Havoc engine for going forward, because I like this system. but I think this system is really designed, would sing more in an open game than a game designed for this one specific thing, you know? 7 sounds good. Originality. This is a hard one because because also point me to another vampire anti-hero game, because Vampire the Masquerade and them are not. You play those guys, but are you really ever the hero that kills Adolf
definitely
Hitler?
not.
Exactly.
No, that's definitely never the meaning of that game, is for you to be the hero.
So, like, show me a vampire game where you get to be Suicide Squad or Inglourious Bastards or anything. Show me another game where you just get to kill Nazis, never going home. Great.
I mean, if we're talking about video games, Wolfenstein, you know,
which they mentioned. I mean, there's
played through. So
there's like 3 pages of appendix in for like all the stuff for this.
Totally.
But I don't think there's any unoriginality to this whatsoever.
No,
I just don't think it blows me out of the water at all.
I also think that they've taken more from Inglourious Bastards than they think they have.
It is just Vampire and Inglourious Bastards.
It really is.
Even to like it. Spoiler alert for people that haven't watched Inglourious Bastards. Also, Tarantino's a fucking hack. They just walk up to Adolf and shoot him in the face, like immediately.
Yeah.
Like that's it. He gets no monologue. He gets nothing. They just walk up and shoot him, which is exactly what they do in this game. And I think I honestly think that was a big inspiration to be like, well, don't let him talk, just kill him. Like, it's just Inglourious Bastards. What do you think?
I'm thinking like a 6.5.
Oh, bro, I was in my head between a 6 and a 7. So like, you got to pick one. I picked Rule Set. So pick this one.
Oh man, what are you doing over there? Sorry, there's a cat doing stuff. I think a 7. You're right. You know, there's not a lot of
7. I already had 7
games.
dialed in. I'm so glad that we are like almost always within 0.5 of each other, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Value. Okay, so just cost alone is incredible. But again, you also get in the PDF, you get a black and white, like print easy, screen reader easy, like I mean, you remove all of the art, which is absolutely stunning, except for, and I the first thing, what do you think the first page I went to when I was like, oh, there's a screen reader easy, all black and white, gotta be easy page. What's the first page you think I went to see what they did with it?
I don't know, what page?
The dice graphic. Yep, they just made it black and white and left that in. They didn't write it in.
That's so funny.
But you get a black and white print version of it. Obviously, I honestly think that sometimes the value of the usability tools have to be factored in. But you get character sheets. There is a lot of stuff for it. And even though you can only play the game once, realistically, I do think that there is solid value in it. And $30 for this is insane. Whether you like the game or not, like just physically having how beautiful this is on your shelf is worth $30 to me, even if you never even crack the cover. What do you think on value?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I think for me, the value statement's kind of like lowered by the fact it's one adventure, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I will say though, they do have in the back ways to hack and make your own vampires, ways to continue this afterwards, where they're like, you might have taken out Adolf, but how about taking out like Himmler and like all these other guys? Go take out his generals, or like take out those guys first. You know what I mean? Like they do have
add some legs to it for sure.
If you really want to, but they very much, I feel like a lot of that stuff is very much like, maybe we should give them just a little bit more. We did make $400,000.
I don't know. I think I'm at like a 7 something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I'm between the 7 and 8. I do think I know we talk about value as bang for your buck, but just cost alone, $30 I think is a great deal. No, let's go 7 because I mean we said this before. The fucking hardcover foiled. No, I mean the UV spotting and everything on it. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards an 8 on value for this. All right, so that is our scores. So we got a 10 plus a 6 plus 14 plus 8 comes out to a 38. Which, man, we give a lot of 38s exactly, which means this game is fine.
Yeah, fine.
It's great. Art obviously carries, and we're not super sold on the system for this game. I think we said this before, and I think now this is going to encourage us to go over it. I think that the intent of this was done better with Super Blood Harvest from Dirk Detweiler. We'll go over that. Same kind of idea where it's like a system designed to run an adventure. So we'll see how you guys all think about that going forward. That is us. I don't think it's already Saturday, so we're not doing war games. Catch me next Wednesday talking to people from over at Grafton, and catch us next Friday for something.
All
right, we're out. See you later. Bye.
Bye.